G'day there, welcome back to another episode of Togl, and this one will be an exciting one too. So as you know, we've had the excavator guy in. He's in here again today, and right now we're working on that bridge. Now, what was the plan for the bridge? This is what we're going to do. This big log that we had here, I've chopped that. I've got to just finish chopping the end off there, but I've chopped this into two 4-meter lengths. Ian's going to use those as bed logs. They are going to be essentially the walls. They will flow up the valley, up the gully on the front and back, and then I've got to order a truckload of the telegraph poles, and the telegraph poles will then lay across and make the road, and then I'll put planking across that as well. I'll mill them up with the timber mill. So that's going to be the bridge, and that will be well and truly strong enough for anything. He'll drive his huge excavator across that, no problem at all. But right now, you may be able to hear him in the background. He needs me to get the chainsaw. I need to go and chop up one of the trees he's just pushed over because it was leaning terribly towards the timber mill, and it was also in the way of the road. So wait till you see what's going on up there. It's amazing. To think of the couple of months it took me to do that work to be able to get through last year, and in a day he's done such a better job. Amazing job. All that work I did was not for nothing, because we still had all that access for all those months, but wow, it's so much better now. Anyway, I got to grab the chainsaw. We'll head over, I'll show you. So that big tree that he's holding, that's the tree I need to cut up into some pieces so that we can move it over to the side. And have a look at how much has been cleared through there. Just incredible. Amazing. Yep, will do. Just up near where it forks. What an awesome guy. He got me just to chop them up, and he's taken the big logs out and put them up onto my pile for me. I said to him they can just be pushed to the side and buried if you want, but he knows I've got the mill there. He knows there'd be a good log, so he's going to carry them up there for me. Now, I'm not sure whether you can notice, you might want to rewind just a little bit, but just behind where Ian is, there was a big blackwood. It's now laying down in the gully down here. So I was watching, I thought he was going to go up and push it over. We knew it had to go because it was in a really bad spot and it was leaning. It would have come over the bridge at some point, like come down on the bridge, so he had to get rid of it. So I kept watching, I had the camera ready, and then he was backing away. I didn't realise he'd given it a touch. Next thing I just saw it fall over, so all over and done, but it's down. What I need to do now though is, I need to go down there and I need to start cutting that big blackwood up so that it's in smaller pieces and Ian can move it out of the way. So I'll get down and start that now.
So now Ian is just clearing this area beside the shed for me, make it more level. He's taken a lot of that soil and moving it around the corner to the left where there's a depression to fill that out. So take from the high spots, fill in the low spots. This guy, I've said it a number of times, but I keep saying it, this guy is amazing. What an amazing operator. He's just doing so much fantastic work here for us. We're really, really happy. Alright, Ian's come down to move these logs. Let's see how we go. So Ian's just come down. I started recording and my battery went flat, so I lost that bit of footage, but he's just pulled from out of there that big piece of log. Now he's going to carry that down. So I'm assuming he's got the creek bed all cut up and ready to go. And what he was going to do was pull out the 3 pipes that I put in there. We can use them elsewhere now. So hopefully those pipes are out. Well, I'm sure they are. Guy never fails to impress me. So those pipes will be out and he'll be getting ready to drop this in. Once these logs go in, we won't be going backwards and forwards across here until I get the load of coppers logs. Oh, not coppers logs, telegraph poles. That is big coppers logs. And then get them in. Doesn't matter though, we've still got access through the paddock up here. That's very impressive. That is one hell of a log. You can see where he's cut out all around here, around the timber mill, and leveled it out. He's done a beautiful job. Once we get some plants growing back in here, a bit of grass, get the gravel down, this place is just going to look different now. So look, this is all nice and flat here now. Because my plan is I will actually put another piece of roof coming down this angle, and that's where I'm going to end up parking the tractor and all the tractor gear in there. Definitely opened up through here a lot. I know it was really pretty when it was all closed in, but we had to be practical about it, you know. Look at that, he's put logs in here, he's planted my tree ferns even. We planted them. Oh, there's the pipes, that's good. Big clearing here. So to alleviate this little bit of a swamp that was running through here, Ian's just cut a track through, so you've got the water will flow along, around, down, and then into the creek, so that won't be a problem. So there's bed log number 1. Awesome. Absolutely unreal. He'll just fill the dirt back onto that. The other log will probably come in here somewhere, I guess. Good use of that tree anyway. Those logs were really too big to go on the timber mill, so better they get used here, eh? We used to drive up and go through that little gap right there. Now he's got it going over that way. Much better. There's a lot of gravel in the creek. So he's digging all that out, making a mound so that log can't roll back. You know, it'll all grow back. We'll replant in close. This place, it'll be beautiful again. But we did need this access through. It's the only way we were going to get a concrete truck through to be able to pour our slab to get the house in. Had to be done. Prop it up with a bit of a log too. there's some power in that machine. I'd sit here and watch this all day. So change buckets obviously now, get the bigger scoop so that he can pull the dirt in behind that log. Yes, I'm sure that when the creek does get in flood, some of that dirt he's dropping on this side may wash away. But if once it settles in, I think it'll be all right. Plus, we'll have the logs, the telegraph poles that are going to be holding that big bed log in place. He's scraping right down to the gravel. I can hear it scratch on the gravel. I can feel it through my feet. And that's good because the water should flow straight along that, get away quickly and not actually build up. So hopefully we won't get the water height that you would expect either. Right, Ian's coming back down to get the other piece of log. Now I couldn't get all the way through the end of that, it was just too fat with the chainsaw. I did get most of the way through. It'll be interesting to see if he can just pull the end off or whether I'm going to have to get the chainsaw out when he rolls it and just nip the end off that log. Alright, so that's the big boy. And that's 4 meters to the cut you can see there. So we'll see if he can pull that off or not. Fingers crossed. Didn't budge. Yep, I need to cut it off. So I'll just get the chainsaw and nip that off. Look at that, he just knocked it and it comes straight out. Yeah, I'd cut slightly crooked. You can see on the base of that log where the two cuts don't quite meet up, but there wasn't much left in it. Now he's got to try and pick this one up. That's a monster of a log. He's got it. Oh yeah. So here's that real big one, right at the limit of Ian's effort. Not Ian's effort, the excavator's effort.
So it's a little brace log because the bed log is thicker on one end than the other. So he needs to just have that little bit more height. Perfect. That log was just made for that. Now we just backfill behind that log and it's all ready for when I got to put all the telegraph poles down. So this bridge will be 4 meters wide. Well, today I'm on the road heading out to a little town called Waratah. Now I've lost my little suction cup that sticks onto the windscreen, so I've got the GoPro clipped into the air vent, which is why it's a bit of a weird angle and on a bit of a lean. But anyway, at least I'm not holding the camera, both hands on the steering wheel and focusing on the road. Anyway, as I said, I'm heading to a little town called Waratah. So Ian, who is our excavator guy, made a few phone calls because our original source of telegraph poles has too much of a backlog. We wouldn't get them for months. He rung around a few mates and he found someone that's got 10 telegraph poles, and that 10's all we need. 10 will do it perfectly. They all have a diameter of between 30 and 40 centimeters, which is perfect. Doesn't sound a lot, but it's exactly what we were looking for. The 40 centimeters is probably one of the thicker telegraph poles you'll get, so it's going to be fine. 10 at 40 centimeters obviously would give us 4 meters. So even though some of them are down at the 30 centimeter mark, we can leave a small gap between the logs. We can still make those 10 logs spread out to cover the 4 meter width that we want the bridge to be. But today I need to go down there because Ian and I came and had a look at them yesterday, and most of them are just a tad too long to fit on Ian's trailer, because he's going to use his semi-trailer to bring those logs down next Saturday. You'll see that in the next episode most likely. But all of the logs have the steel pegs coming out on the left and right so that you can climb up them. I need to get those all pulled out because we need the logs to be able to roll and roll on and off of the trailer. So yeah, I've got to get up there today. I've loaded up the generator. I've got a couple of different angle grinders, different metal cutting wheels, a whole range of tools to see how I can best get all of these pegs out. There's a lot of pegs. Every one of those 10 posts probably has at least 10 to 20 pegs in them. So I've got a lot of pegs to pull out today. So I'll show you that when I get up there. It's probably about a 40-minute drive southwest from the block. So we're heading up a little bit higher in altitude and a bit further west where it's wetter. It really is pretty country out that way. But I'll get the camera out again when I get up there and show you these logs, and I'll get stuck into starting to get those pegs out. Here we are at Waratah, and these are the telegraph poles that we're going to use for the bridge. Now I just did a quick test, and all these pegs that you can see lined up down through here, these climbing pegs, they're a decent size, but I realized that with a shifter I can actually undo them, and in all honesty I'll probably get them out quicker than cutting them with an angle grinder, because the little angle grinder I've got, it's going to be slow going cutting through there. I'm going to go through a lot of blades. So for now I'm going to see how many I can take out just simply using the shifter. Not to mention that it's a damn sight quieter as well, and it is really pretty out here and it's nice and peaceful and quiet, so we're quite happy to just spend the morning just unscrewing all of these rather than the noise of and the dust and everything of cutting them all off. So I'll see how I go with that. Yeah, that's pretty quick and pretty easy as well. That's what I'm pulling out. I reckon it's quicker pulling them out than cutting them off, so I'm just going to keep working my way down through here. Well, that's it for me for today. I am buggered. Got about 5 poles in, pulling all of those spikes out by hand, and the day was getting pretty warm. I was getting pretty worn out. Even though it was pretty much just as quick and it was a lot quieter, I was just buggered. So I switched over to the angle grinders, used the small angle grinders, went through both batteries. So I kicked in the generator and got the big heavy duty angle grinder, like it's a big sucker. It's really heavy, and the torque from the blade spinning really twists your arms around a lot, so it was really hard to use. It's really bad on the back. So I got a lot more spikes cut off. And then these last couple up the end here, I couldn't get to those spikes. We're going to need to roll them once these other logs are out the way. So I thought, well, at least I can cut them to the length they need to be. Most of them, bar these two, are going to be 7.8 meters long to fit the truck. These other two are 10 meters long because they'll go on the upper level where you'll see next week anyway. I won't explain now. I got through to log number 7, and cutting through log number 7, and wouldn't you know it,
one of those big metal spikes is underneath, and I hit the spike and snapped the chainsaw chain, so not happy with that. That's it for me, end of the day. There's nothing more I can do, so I'll have to finish those off next week when we come up to pick them up. So 121 spikes I just picked up off the ground, and I know more dropped in between the logs, so it's been a big day cutting those spikes, and I've been up here for probably about 4.5 hours. Take out 20 minutes for having a chat and whatnot. So yeah, a little over 4 hours work. Anyway, that's it for now, and that's it for this episode. So I'm going to leave you with a little bit of footage of our road. As promised, I will drive in from the gate and we will follow the road all the way down as far as we can to where these logs are going to end up being across the creek. So I'll leave you to see that at the end. But anyway, I hope you've enjoyed this episode. Tune in next week and you'll get to see us putting these onto the truck. You'll also get to see a little trip that we did to Launceston. Went down there, went to Cataract Gorge, picked up something for ourselves, which you'll see. Anyway, like I said, tune in next week for that. So till then, have a great weekend, have a great week. Take care, I'll see you then. Cheers.